Hello friend, and welcome into the craft table at Sunny Mouse Studio. Today we're going to be working on these cute summer doodles, and I thought to start I would show you how I sketched them, and you could even take a screenshot to help you later. I usually just draw them in pencil and then paint over them, but here I'm going to use a Sharpie pen just because it shows up better. And the first one is a little birdhouse, and you just kind of start with a triangle on the top and then bring the edges down, and then I make some vertical lines, a little heart, and I write home sweet home around it. Next, this is kind of like a twine ball or something, and I just draw a circle with some lines going through it. And I usually don't draw my bird. I usually paint him and then go over him later with the Pigma Micron pen. But he's kind of a little oval shape, and there's different ways to do his eye. I can show you that later. This is a little fudgesicle, and I start with a straight line and connect it, making a kind of a oval, and then draw these little shapes inside and the stick. And I also usually don't draw my tulip. I usually paint that. But the mug, I start with an oval, and then I curve the sides down in. Maybe I should get a little closer here so you can see better. And then connect the bottom. Oops. And then I just add some dots, a little handle, and some little curly cues for the steam. Turn this fan off. It's a little warm today, but the blowing air is drying out my voice, I think. And then the strawberry is just kind of a blobby shape, and I draw some leaves on it, just very free form. And we're going to add some white dots on him later. And then this is the yarn ball. Start with a circle, and then I just add these like the strings all wrapped up. And don't forget the little tail. And a couple cherries. Leaves on top, and the tree I don't usually draw out, but it's basically just a circle with a stick. The butterfly I usually don't draw out either, but it's kind of like a big half a circle, or a little one and then a big one, with a line down the middle and a couple of antennas. And this is a pot of some plants. Just kind of draw the edges down and give it a little base, and then I draw some sticks with 3 leaves on it, and I just add those kind of all over the place. Sometimes I add a couple with just 2 leaves. The blueberries. Those are just circles with little kind of star shapes there. I'm traveling and I hear some lawnmowers coming, so I'm just going to pause and close my windows. Okay, the lawnmowers have gone by, and I think we can continue. They'll probably be back with their blowers. Kind of in a public area today, so you never know what you're going to get. But this is all the sketches, and if you want to take a screenshot, go ahead. It might help you when you come back to draw them later. And then I'm just going to paint these in over here. This is how I normally do it. I pencil it in, and I like to paint right over the pencil. Now first I'm going to just spray my watercolors just to activate them a little. Get them a little bit juicy. And we'll start in with that birdhouse here. Ah, everything's sticking to me today. It's a little humid. Alright. So, maybe you like it a little closer. You can let me know. I like to use this. This is from the Kuretaki Art Nouveau set. It's kind of a medium brown. And you can make this brown by using regular brown and yellow ochre mixed together. But I just go in and I don't paint the heart. I leave that blank. And I usually add a little bit more color, like near the top. Near the top edges, and maybe coming down a little on the sides, like that. And then I'm going to do this twine ball kind of in a cream color, and I'm just going to trace my lines. And I'm going to use that same cream color for the popsicle stick here. And then I'm going to do a light blue bird, kind of just perched on top of this. And you kind of make a smile, and then the same thing in the reverse on top, and fill it in. That. And we'll add some pen details at the end, so that will actually look like a bird. I'm going to use that same brown that I was using for the house. I'm going to use that for the popsicle. And I paint that in, and then I'm going to go back once that dries and paint those little sections inside of it a little bit darker. We'll just give it a couple minutes to dry. And then for the tulip, I painted this on another card recently. I like to use this flat brush to get those flat petal shapes. And I'm going in with a vibrant pink, and I just kind of go 1, 2, 3 strokes like this. Actually, I think I'm going to use this next pink over. It has a little bit more red in it because I want it to match the strawberry. And we're going to add a stem, but I'm going to let that dry for a second too. And going back to that same brown we already used, just fill in this coffee mug. There's lots of parts that you have to kind of go back and add more to, so just take your time and enjoy the painting. And I usually add a little bit more paint around the rim here. Ooh. Like that. And then back to the strawberry. Each season has so many things to look forward to. Different things to eat and things to do. I grew up in a place that had 4 really distinct seasons, so there was always something new to look forward to, always changes in the nature. And now that I'm older and I travel more, it's funny to live in places that don't have as many seasons. And I find I lose track of what time of year it is sometimes because the nature is not there as my cue. So let's see, this looks dry up here. I'm gonna go back with a little bit darker of that brown and paint in those little sections here to make it look like a fudgesicle. There. Do you have fudgesicles where you live? Every place has their own summer treats, you know. Let's see, and I think I can go back and paint the stem. And I also like to use the flat brush for the stem. I'm going in with a light sap green and just use the edge to draw this stem, and then use the flat part to draw the leaves, like that. And then I'm going to go in with a darker brown on the coffee in the coffee mug. Just adding that in. And I think I can paint these leaves now. I'm going to use this sap green, the regular, a little bit darker. Let that dry. And the yarn ball is up next. And I'm going to use the light sap green again. Once you know how to make all these doodles, you can use the ones that are your favorites for some summer cards, like birthday cards or thinking of you card or whatever you need. I'm going to show you in a short, maybe I'll make a short of different ideas that you could make. You could use like 3 elements, or you could use like just 4 elements with a sentiment, like some of the other cards you've seen me make. And then the cherries. Just painting in this. Oh, this is the color I was trying to find. Sometimes the reds are hard to tell what they are until you start painting with them. This was the one I was looking for. Maybe I'll go over that strawberry a little bit more. So this is just a little bit deeper red, I think. I like that. It's the beauty of art, isn't it? You can go and add more layers and colors. And then for the leaves, I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do half of them dark green and half light green. So I'll have to come back and add the light. And then this little tree, I'm gonna use that same sap green, just basically drawing a ball. And I'm trying to make one side a little dark, oops, painting myself, a little darker than the other. Let that dry. And this butterfly, go back to that light blue. Trying to make sure I'm in the camera here for you. And I'm just making a small, 2 small circles kind of here at the top. And then 2 larger ones. And we'll add the pen detail to make it look interesting at the end. And then this plant I'm going to do, I think I'd like to do a light gray for the planter or the pot. And then I think I'll use that same sap green. When you're doing compositions like this, it's good to use the same colors over and over again. It helps it look very cohesive and more put together. Just painting these little itty bitty leaves. And I think these cherry leaves are dry. I can go back and add that light green on the top. Whoops, too much paint. Like that. Let's see, is there anything else we had to go back to? I think we're good so far. And then these blueberries, I am going to use Prussian blue. It's kind of a brighter blue. And I'm first just giving them a wash of this. And then I go back in and I'm going to try to make one of the side of them a little darker. Oops, my paint, I must have missed spritzing this one. It's not wet. Let's see. Kind of like that. Just gives them a little bit more of definition when you vary the coloring on them. And I'll use that same sap green for the leaves. Just some little round leaves. They don't even have to be realistic. And I'm going to add a little bit of dirt in the planter here. I use that same brown I used in the coffee mug. There. Now, on this, you could leave it as is. You could also go back in and add some Pigma Micron details. I hear the blowers coming, so I'm gonna pause it and come back. Okay, the weed eaters have come and gone, so let's hope that they're done. There might be some more blowers, but we'll see. So now I'm gonna go back with my Pigma Micron pen and just add the details. You can trace over the Home Sweet Home, or you can leave it as is. I'll just show you how it would look if we did trace it. And you can go back and erase the pencil lines underneath. When I made these, I thought how fun they would be as stickers. I haven't learned how to make my art into stickers yet, but I'd love to learn that. And all these you can just leave it with just the pencil, or you can trace. It's just a matter of which way you like it to look. Both are nice. And then for the bird, I usually just give them a little wing, a little beak, and a little eye. And there's different ways you can do him as well. His eye, you can do like the dot like I just did, or you can do like a little smile for an eye, kind of like he's sleeping, or you can do an upside down smile like that, kind of like he's thinking about something. Those are just 3 different options. And the popsicle, I would just go around these little indentations in it, and the outside, and the stick. Let's see, for the tulip, I like to add some polka dots. So I'm going to use just some acrylic paint. Just just gonna pour a little on my notepad here. It doesn't take much. And then I'm gonna use a dot tool. And you can also use like an old paintbrush. This is a dot tool, and it makes very nice dots that are uniform. So just gonna give him 3 dots. Coffee cup. Just trace these little curly cues and the polka dots. Just go around the mug here. Same thing on the strawberry. I like to give him some dots. Maybe I'll give him bigger dots. I wanted to give him 5 dots. I was able to smush that in there. It's always good to do an odd number. Then the yarn ball, you just trace the circle, the tail, and then the little yarn tied around, wrapped around. And the cherries kind of go around where the stem connects there. Draw a little smiley. And the tree, I just kind of loosely go around it several times. I add a few dots just for decoration, and a tree trunk. And the butterfly, I go around him loosely a few times. Give it a middle and some little antenna. And sometimes it's fun to add little fun decorations like some little hearts. I'll put some hearts on the top here, and then maybe some flowers. You can just be creative. If you want to, you could even take like a gold Signo pen and add some little dots in the middle of the flowers. And the little planter, just go around, very sketchy. Like so. And finally the blueberries. Just making the little kind of star shape. And then just tracing around the leaves too. These leaves look like they could have used another coat of paint. They look a little light, but that's okay. So there you have it. I'll back it out. All your summer doodles, and I'll be sure to make a short soon so you can see how to use these to make cards as well. So thanks so much for being here. I love seeing that there's people from all over the world tuning in and spending time watercoloring with me, and it's a great joy to show you the things that I like to paint, and I'll look forward to being with you again soon. Have a good day.